All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The season finale from Iowa. Richie Joplin and Vic Brown on the front row. Edmund Jones, John Talley of the second row. Gil Guac, Mike Zakar on the third row. Ryan Warp, Stephen Linder on the fourth row. Mark Dantuma and Kevin Bruner round out the top 10. Jerry Bergeron starting in 11th next to Jeff Oakes in 12th. Warren Moore back in 13th. Michael Whiting in 14th. Darrell Klotz in 15th. Danny Passmore starts in 16th. Tim St. Jean, Gerald Poole, and Mike Burgess round out the 19-car field here tonight. We are expecting a start and park for Gerald Poole due to continued injuries. But we are glad to have him back in the field, back on the track tonight, after having been away for about a week and a half, having been in the hospital. He's had a rough go, but it is great to see him on track. Everybody stacked up and ready to go. Ooh, Vic Brown, I'm loving the new paint. Kinda has an old school Jeff Gordon feel to it. Now it is worth pointing out, Richie Joplin currently leads the points by just 1 point. Mark Dantuma and Jeff Oakes are starting back in 10th and 11th, so they have got a long way to go, or they need something to go wrong with Richie right off the start to have a chance to get back up into the fight. Richie is driving a Ford tonight, so could have spontaneous combustion at any point. Gerald Poole in the 9 car back behind. Remember, that car is doing a start and park here tonight, and hopefully he can get a few laps in. It's great to see him back on track. And here they come through 3 and 4. Pace car dips in. And the green flag flies. They are down and away at Iowa for the season finale of Home Motorsports. And like we've said, closest points we have ever seen in Home Motorsports. They've been getting closer and closer every season as Richie Joplin takes the lead. And it looks like Richie will lead lap 1. Mark Dantuma is starting to make his way forward. He's got to get up there to get in the points. Hey, good evening, David. Jeff Oakes currently back in 13th. He's got a lot of ground to make up and not a lot of time to do it. Richie Joplin just set the fastest lap so far. The drivers are using a lot of that new asphalt here. And as we see coming out of turn 4, guys just not getting as loose. And Gerald Poole has come to pit road. It is good to see that 9 car back on track. He does have stitches in his hands. They'll be out next week, so we are expecting him back in the car next week for the season opener. Ryan Ward now been to 6. Warren Moore starting to make some ground up. He is up to 11th. Jeff Oakes early in 12th, but Jeff in heavy traffic hasn't been able to make much headway. Second in points, Mark Dantuma now up into 8th. But at the moment, Richie Joplin continues to lead. Remember, this championship's going to come down to which one of these three has the best finish. Richie Joplin leads, but Vic Brown and Edmund Jones. Edmund here in his home motorsports debut. Vic had it hanging a little bit out of the new asphalt there. No problems. With this new asphalt and it fixing the problem coming out of turn 4, the big question here is, will we see him go more often, go green to checkers? Iowa's a short track. We see a lot of green flag racing at. Normally, the only thing bringing the caution out is the exit of turn 4. See a lot of cars sliding with all that grip there now. That is not the case, and we may never see a caution at Iowa again. Mark D'Antuma up to 8th, about 2.5 seconds. Behind 7th place, Mike Zakar. Ryan Warp in 6th, Gil Block currently in 5th. John Talley in 4th, Vic Brown now back in 3rd, Edmund in 2nd, and Richie still in the lead. Jeff Oakes starting to move toward the front. He's now to 10th. Warren Moore in 11th. Stephen Lindner in 12th. Tim St. Jean, so far the biggest mover, up 4 spots into 13th. Evan Bruner in 14th. Michael Whiting in 15th. Darrell Klotz in 16th. Danny Passmore in 17th. Mike Burgess in 18th. Now the question is, can anybody put a stop to Richie Joplin, or is this the championship race for him? Mark D'Antuma back in 8th, gaining a little bit of ground, and as we mentioned, Jeff Oakes now gaining ground as well. Right on the back bumper of Terry Berger, and at the moment, and Gerald Poole has gotten out of the car and joined us in the booth. And Gerald, it had to have been good to, after a couple weeks off, to be back in the car.
I don't know that I qualified as actually being back in the car, but you know, come out and try to preserve some points for this second season of the 3 for this year, and yeah, I can't wait to be able to get back there and jump in full time, because I, during practice, ran a few laps, 3 or 4. The track's really interesting. I'd love to have been able to take a crack at it full steam.
It is interesting. Just saw somebody go through 3 and 4. I believe it was Ryan Warp took 3 and 4 outside of that new asphalt. And now Mike Zakar is trying it. Seeing a lot more guys going outside of that asphalt here as they get some heat in the tires. Definitely interesting to see, especially when they're not trying to make a pass. It looks like just testing where they've got the most speed now that they have heat in the tires.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to do a better job of saving tires on the outside early. But with the difference in the asphalt, I wouldn't know enough about tire wear to be able to tell you if it'd be a really good strategy, you know, for this race. But yeah, watching the guys run across the new asphalt out of the exit of 4, where there's a little single lane where those guys come off that asphalt and have a tire in the new and the old stuff, but before you can see the rear end of that car shifting.
It does look like Paulo Inesito almost made it, but just misses. Kind of a heartbreak. Nick Paulo missing out. He's currently 12th in points, just outside of the top 10. And I have to say, the top 3, like we mentioned earlier, closest battle in home motorsports history for the championship. But from 4th on back, it has just been a tight battle, and we see as many as 4 or 5 positions change every race in the points. It's crazy how close the racing's been this season.
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't even able to. Well, last week I was in the emergency room when this was going on, but yeah, I mean, just not starting that race, and because this segment with the 11 races, I had some really tough times the first 4 or 5, and I think I worked myself up that I, had a really good shot at a top 5 finish. But man, I mean, I went from, well, I think I was in the top 5, and I dropped all the way to 9th just because of the way the drop rules work. So yeah, it's close.
It definitely is. All cheering on Ryan Ward. Ryan currently in 6th, right on Gil Block's bumper. Gil's got a new paint scheme here tonight. It is shiny. Did you paint that one, Gerald? It seems like
no. That's not one of my shiny jobs.
I was going to say, most of your new paint schemes, like the one Mark Dantuma and Richie Joplin are running, most of them are very, very shiny, and they look really good.
Oh, yeah, that's a really cool finish for those cars, especially when you got a good scheme, good color combo going along. I mean, they're really sharp cars.
Well, interesting development here. Jeff Oakes has just moved up into 8th, and Mark Dantuma slipped back to 9th. Jeff definitely trying to get up there. Now he's going to eat Jeff Oakes for 7th. And Jeff Oakes is charging. Normally Dantuma's good on the long run, but he's fading here, and that's got to have something to do with this new surface. A lot of drivers haven't had a whole lot of time on it, and that can definitely have an impact.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Caution is out. First caution of the night, Tim St. Jean and Stephen Linder. And a good time for a caution. Everybody can go in and get tires and fuel. Let's see what, and Tim St. Jean towed it in. Let's see what happened. Oh, pushes up. Looks like Steven pushes up Tim St. Jean pushes up coming out of 4. Take another look from a different angle. There's
I think somebody else got a little piece of that too.
Yeah, he did. Kevin Bruner barely misses it. But man, a hard hit, and it looked like St. Jean's engine let go, and Lindner also towed it in.
Yeah, that's tough when that happens. Be interesting. I think they were like 35 or so laps of fuel.
Yep, looking like 34 to 36 laps on fuel. So they do this, and it's going to be close on. Nope, if they do this, they can do the rest of the race on one stop. But the tire strategy is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, there are 3 sets in the pits, so it's not going to hurt anybody to take take a set now. I think it'd be interesting to hear what everybody's tire wear was, because I bet you it's all over the place.
I bet you it is too, and I know Mike Zakar, Ryan Ward both have been running a lot more outside of that asphalt, so I'd be interested to know what theirs was versus, say, Richie Joplin and Edmund Jones, who have been in that asphalt pretty much the whole time. Now, the one advantage the new asphalt will have for the drivers is they help get that tire up to heat a little bit quicker coming through that, but it will wear them a bit more. Track temperature currently 99 degrees, so it's a bit warm.
Yeah, I think if I was going to try to use a highline strategy here, I'd try to just take that biggest line of asphalt through the turns and stay off that old stuff.
We did see that bump is still there in 1 and 2, and that can be fatal if you're up there if you're doing it the wrong way. It can send a driver to the inside wall and end their night. But most of them seem to be avoiding that, but running that high line some of them running that high line wherever they can.
Yeah, that bump's Bump's a bad dude, I'll tell you what. I've had some bad nights because of that. And one thing is you get around this place so fast that sometimes you can lose track of where that bump is, and you decide to go high, and you called it on the wrong turn.
That does happen. Happens to just about all of us at some point. I did notice on that pace lap as lights go out, did notice several of the drivers actually pacing outside the new asphalt, intentionally staying up out of the new asphalt. That is an interesting development.
Yeah, I wonder what the strategy is behind that. It'd be interesting to hear a comment.
Definitely be talking to the top three after the race. We'll definitely get some more information and let you guys know on down the road. But yeah, here they come down the back straightaway, stacked up, ready to go. Richie Joplin still up front. Jeff Oaks has moved now up into 7th, and Mark Dantuma currently in 9th. The top three in points, getting ready to battle it out once again. As here we go. Pace car dives in, and the green flag flies, and Richie's away like a rocket. Edmund Jones and Vic Brown have been battling it out side by side up front. Edmund managed to pull into 2nd for a little bit, and he's going to do it again. Vic staying right in the draft in 3rd. Ryan Warp now up into 5th. John Talley in 4th. And Jeff Oaks has moved to 6th. And Dan Tuma's on his bumper. These two want that shot at the title, and they're coming for it. You got to wonder if either of them are offering Edmund money to go up and hit Richie.
Got to catch him to hit him.
Well, that is true. It's something that Bruner and I have been talking about all season. That somehow they're going to have to find a way of slowing Richie down. So far, 2 wins this season. Jeff Oaks actually has 3 wins, but not as consistent. Plus Richie with 3 poles, Mark Dantuma with 2. Richie's not only been winning, but he's been picking up the bonus points everywhere he can.
Yeah, he would have actually he'd have picked up a bonus point for this race for putting on, or starting on the pole. So right now he's got 2 points on the mark. Or well, at the start of the race, we'd have to see where it is now. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see this one. If they can make it on one more blue stop, you're going to have to either be committed to doing everything you can to get up there, which is going to hurt your tires, or maybe take a tire strategy and hope if it keeps going great. Last 8 or 10 laps of the fuel run,
Mike Zakar has come to pit road unexpectedly. We'll see if is he taking tires? What? Nope, he might be done as Richie Joplin goes by. Edmund Jones did just set the fastest lap a lap ago as he closes in on Richie, and that is exactly what Jeff Oaks and Mark Dantuma want to happen. They need Edmund to catch him. It looked like Dantuma may have kissed the wall just a hair of it too. As Jerry Bertrand right behind him closes back up on him. Richie and Edmund have opened up a gap, 1.4 seconds. On 3rd place, Vic Brown. John Talley, Ryan Warp right there with them. Jeff Oaks is closing in. Last time by, Oaks the fastest car on track. He has been close to pulling off the championship almost every season since he joined Home Motorsports.
Oh, yeah.
He's finished 2nd I don't know how many times. He definitely is Drew when he wants it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Very, very talented driver. I mean, he's really patient, and he just knows how to drive.
Yeah, he definitely does. And as he closes the gap on everybody ahead of him, He's even at the moment faster than the top two, and this breakaway may change here in a minute. Edmund peaks low as they go off into one. They get side by side. The rest of the field's going to reel them back in quickly. They are side nose to tail going off into three. Edmund couldn't get the bottom at 1 and 2. If he can get the run out of 4, well, on enough that time, but he is definitely pushing it.
That was one thing I did notice during the practice lap, is that additional grip from the new asphalt will really launch you across that old pavement. You really got to pay attention to the rear end of your car, because it'll start spinning the tires as soon as you change surfaces.
Well, Tim, that was a rough start to the night and a rough end of the season, buddy. Tim St. Jean out early. Looks like Steven Linder and Mike Sakar has officially retired. The 3 drivers out, well, 4, counting you, out early. And a rough night at Iowa.
Yeah, this is a tough place. I mean, it's a lot like Richmond. I hear people say that a bunch, but it may be close to the same size, but boy, it's a completely different animal.
Yeah, Richmond actually has an elevation change as you go downhill through 1 and 2, back uphill in 3 and 4. It's the same distance. I think both tracks are roughly the same distance. Man, they drive completely different. I don't like Richmond, but I do love Iowa. It is a lot of fun to run here. As Edmund and Richie continue to battle, Vic Brown still holding on to 3rd. Jeff Oakes and Mark Dantuma continue to close in. Hey, good evening, Russell. Jerry Bergeron still lurks in 8th. He'll walk in 9th. Warren Moore up to 10th. And Michael Whiting now up into 11th. Don't see Michael out here every week, but man, when he is fast. Really surprised he hasn't gone further yet.
Oh yeah, Mike's a great driver too. It wouldn't surprise me to see him up there sniffing towards the front as this goes.
Tim, that's Gerald. He was out early, so join me. He was wondering who the weird guy in the booth was.
I could have been weirder. I could have taken my pain medication this evening instead of this morning.
Oakes goes up the track, and I think he kisses the wall. Coming out of turn 4, Mark Dantuma shoots by. Man, Jeff had a ton of momentum, but just couldn't hold the car down. Mark Dantuma out of 6th, but Oakes is fighting back. And you gotta wonder, let's see if we can get a camera a little bit closer to the right side of Jeff's car. I doubt he took much damage.
Yeah, there's scraping the wall, and then there's hitting the wall.
That is true, but even in these cars, sometimes even a light tap will do a little bit of damage. He rode down the front stretch wall for a bit. Doesn't seem to have slowed him down, though, as it looks like he is going to clear Dantuma coming out of 4.
Yeah, I think the big thing when you get into the wall like that, yeah, I think if you get it with your nose first, even if it's close to pancaking it, it can really take something out of your steering.
Yeah, it definitely can. Back up front, it's still Richie and Edmund. They continue to have a bit of a gap, but it looks like Vic may be closing in just a little bit. The gap now 1.4 seconds. Vic also pulling away from John Talley and Ryan Warp at the moment. If this thing stays green as we're just past the halfway, the field's going to continue to spread out. Mike Burgess back in 15th, just came out of turn 2, and Richie coming across the start-finish line. We could see a lot of cars lap down after green flag stops. This track, I know I've done it, but this track, you come out of turn 4, there's 2 different walls there, and it's very easy to go to the outside of the wrong wall, and you're not on pit road, you're on the Legends circuit.
Yeah, pit stops may be a equalizer. You never. It's easy. It's really easy because that last turn to get into pit lane to get to the cones. If you come in, you can come around through the turn pretty quick. But boy, when you have to make that extra left, you can really get yourself in trouble fast.
Michael Whiting now looking underneath Warren Moore for 10th. Gil Guac has drifted back to 9th. That's a bit of a surprise. Gil's usually pretty fast on the short tracks. You gotta wonder if it has something to do with the new track configurations. It is new, so a lot of drivers haven't had a whole lot of time on it.
Yeah, it'd be really easy to not be able to get a good gauge on what your tire was going to be on fresh tires. So I could see it really be easy to wear something out and not really realize it, especially with that new asphalt, because you know what that does to tires when you give the driver all that extra grip.
Yeah, it tears them up like crazy. Tim just said it is a bit tricky. Danny Passmore's coming to pit road. This is early, but within the window. But Tim did just say it is tricky coming from the new asphalt out onto the old pavement, especially that's going to be more pronounced as they get further into a run. Those tires get more and more worn. That transition could get worse. Could see a little excitement late in a run.
Oh, no doubt whatsoever.
Still quite a battle going on back behind. Jerry Bergeron, Warren Moore, Gil Guac, Michael Whiting, and Kevin Bruner all right there nose to tail and side by side. Jerry Bergeron currently has 8th. Warren Moore and Gil Guac battling for 9th. Michael Whiting right behind in 10th, and Kevin Bruner is caught up in 11th. As Danny Passmore is back out on track. 4 tires and fuel, and he is now the fastest thing on the track. And I say it all the time, but there is no more fun time in a race car when you're the only car on track that has 4 fresh Goodyears, and you can drive by everybody.
Oh yeah. Anybody out there ever thinking of getting into iRacing, do it just for that reason, because you feel like a god.
Whoa, those fresh tires hurt Danny a little bit. Coming out of turn 2, he lost a little grip down on the bottom. But he does gather it up, keeps it pointed the right way, and has now got past Edmund. Looks like he's about to unlap himself the old-fashioned way. Jeff Oaks is on pit road. These guys coming in early, trying to make something happen with fresh tires.
Yeah, I think that was probably what happened a little bit earlier. You get out there with fresh tires and you get running those guys like down like that. It's easy to get in.
Well, here it comes. Richie Joplin gives up the lead he is in. Edmund Jones will lead for the first time ever in home motorsports. Ryan Warp also coming in. Jerry Bergeron, Darrell Klotz, Gil Guac, Jeff Oaks, all still on pit road. And I did notice they've lost about a lap and a half, or a second and a half a lap on their lap times as Mark Dantuma comes in. So it is a good time to come in, but now that everybody's coming in, nobody's going to get a big advantage. Now the question's going to be guys like Edmund Jones, Vic Brown, John Talley, Michael Whiting, and Kevin Bruner that are staying out. They'll get tires later. Will they be able to charge forward?
Yeah, or hang on and hope for a caution. Put a bunch of good people a lap down.
No, we definitely saw that hang on and hope for a caution. Last night, Michael Whiting has had a problem back behind. He is towed to pit road. We will not see a caution. Let's see. It looks like Michael's on his way into pit road. Oh, and he overshot. Just what we were talking about a few moments ago. Just went to the outside of the barrels and... Ouch.
Yeah, that's a tough deal. That turn comes up on you so quick cut in and make sure you make pit lane.
Well, that you're late in a run with not a lot of grip, and yeah, things can go wrong quickly. John Talley, Kevin Bruner are now in. Jeff Oaks just set the fastest lap of the race. Back up into 6th. Richie Joplin in 5th. Now is Jeff right on his bumper, and this championship is not over yet. But Warren Moore has had a problem back behind. Going a close call for the leaders as they go by. Let's see what, and the caution will fly. It looked like Warren was trying to get the car going.
Oh,
19 laps to go. That gave Vic Brown was the only car still on track. Genius. Well, let's take a look at what happened to Warren. All right, there's Warren coming down the back straightaway into turn 3. He just loses grip, tries to get it straightened out and gets it down to the apron, and then the leaders come by. He's trying to get it going again, but man, that just did not work out for him.
Yeah, that's I kind of wonder, you know, he came in on that old pavement and was carrying some pretty good speed into the turn, and I think when he dropped down onto that new pavement, the additional grip kind of set him cattywampus.
Yeah, it looks like Vic Brown comes in. Edmund Jones was the only driver actually scored on the lead lap. He is going to come back in. This will allow everybody to come back around the pace car. But it's definitely going to shake things up and give Vic a huge advantage here.
Yeah. This will be this lineup's going to be interesting once this all gets straightened out.
And Richie's coming back in. Most of these guys just took tires a few laps ago. This is going to be interesting. Vic is on his way off pit road. Let's see if Jeff Oaks or any of the others come in. Vic Brown has yet to win a race this season, but a bold strategy move may very well give it to him here tonight. Less than 20 laps to go. And everybody's going to be chasing him. Remember, he was up there right on Edmund's bumper for a long, long time. He can drive a little bit defensively. He may have this one.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. It really is. And even with the championship, I'm kind of looking now. You got these guys all of a sudden bunched together, you know, back where they're sitting all together behind the leaders. So, you know, some back driving and strategy to get through this one.
It's definitely going to be interesting. Richie Joplin in 3rd, Jeff Oaks in 4th, Mark Dantuma in 6th. They're all back together again. So this championship battle is heating up, but it looks like Richie gets a wave around, so he'll be back there with Vic and Edmund versus Jeff Oaks. Will be behind the pace car. So he's going to be essentially a whole lap behind.
Yeah, that's that's a long way to drive.
It definitely is, but man, Richie just got very, very lucky on this one because Jeff had just gotten to him. If that caution doesn't come out, I think Richie Joplin may not have won the championship. We'll see how it plays out, but he has a huge advantage right now. And wait a minute, they have let everybody back past the pace car. Field does get waved around. It looked like they weren't going to for a minute, but it does appear they are. So Vic, Edmund, Richie, Jeff Oaks will pull up behind. Ryan Warp in 5th, Dan Tuma in 6th. Well, this is about to get really heated.
Talk about a shootout.
Yeah, it'll be less than 15 to go when the green flag drops, so...
Yeah, I think they got an additional lap of yellow from what I'm listening to. I think to let everybody get caught back up because, yeah, they weren't going to make it after that big wave around there.
The lights have gone out as they get ready. Now, they are single file. That gives Vic a huge advantage at the moment. Edmund Jones, the only car not lined up single file.
Yeah, this is going to get crazy.
Oh, Richie Joplin got the lucky dog and had to go to the tail end of the field.
Oh, wow.
Folks, buckle up. It's about to get really good. Here we go. Green flag is back in the air. 13 laps to go. The championship contenders, Jeff Oakes in third, Mark Dantuma in fifth, and Richie Joplin back in 11th place. And Vic Brown, having never won in home motorsports. Oh, Vic's loose in 3 and 4. Edmund goes low. Vic gets the grass caution.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, I gotta say, great save by Vic. Great wreck avoidance by Edmund.
It's just getting better and better.
Yeah, because now it's going to be less than 10 to go when the green flag drops. Let's take a look down from the blimp and see how close this was. Coming through 3 and 4. Vic out front, gets loose on entry. Looks like he might have got loose in the transition. Edmund goes under just as Vic straightens out. And ouch, Vic lost so much ground right after we were talking about him possibly pulling off a win tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think driving from that old stuff into that new stuff, entering those turns like that's really upsetting the rear of the car. I think it doesn't have grip, and then all of a sudden it does. And you've got so much power pushing, it just turns you around.
Not only that, but then you've got a guy like Vic. He is pushing it to the limit. He doesn't have to worry about fuel, doesn't have to worry about tires. He just wants to get to victory lane, so he's pushing extra hard, keeping Edmund behind. Edmund and Vic race together in several leagues, so they know how each other races, and yeah, that was definitely a shakeup. But now Jeff Oakes, Edmund has the lead. Could be interesting to see if he can win in his first ever home motorsports race, but Jeff Oakes in second, Ryan Warp now in third, and Mark Dantuma in fourth. Richie Joplin still way back in 10th. If the race were to end now, the championship would go. Hang on, I'm doing math.
Well, I know right now they'd be tied because neither one of them's led, and they're 2 cars apart, which would be 2 points. And wasn't Ryan or wasn't
yeah. So
he was
it would
2
be
points behind him at the start? Yeah, a tie.
As of right now, if the race were to end, it would be a tie between Mark Dantuma and Jeff Oakes. And Jeff Oakes has the most wins with 3. So Jeff Oakes would take the championship. Tim, I know you're watching. Who's going to win the championship tonight? Because we thought it was Richie. He led most of the first part of the race. But now he's way in the back. These guys are up front. Man.
And Richie's got some bonus points. He was on the pole. He's probably led the most laps. I presume that he has 0x, which is another bonus point. Yeah, this is, he makes up 3 or 4 more spots. It may be a 3-way tie at the end.
It could be. Tim predicting Jeff Oakes finally gets that championship. We saw how hard he was charging the first part of this race. Man, if I would not want to be Edmund Jones right now with Jeff Oakes trying to win his first championship on his outside, because Jeff is going to push it to the limit. And I've never seen Jeff use a bumper, but I know if I was in his position, I probably would.
And he's got Mark Dantuma right on his rear bumper.
I
So
know.
Richie 3 cars back. Woo. This is going to get crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Vic, after that incident, he wants to get back up there. He's in the bottom 3 cars back, and things are just about to get nuts as here they come. Pace car dives to pit road, out of turn 4, green flag flies, 8 to go at the line. Edmund away. Jeff Oakes clears into second. Mark Dantuma, the right sides were off on old pavement as they came through 1 and 2. He has lost several positions. Jeff now to second. Mark, no, he'll hold on to second, or to fourth rather, for the moment. And here comes Richie, already up to 8. Harold Klotz has come to pit road. And Richie has begun to storm through here.
They just keep handing each other the trophy.
I mean, and it's going to be so close in the championship because, as we mentioned right now, it's Jeff Oakes as Edmund Jones just set the fastest lap. But if Mark Dantuma changes position, if Jeff Oakes changes position, or if Richie Joplin suddenly gets back up here into the fight, and with 5 laps to go, I don't count Richie out of this yet.
Ooh, he's on it.
He definitely is now up into 6th. Mike Burgess had a problem back behind, but has recovered. Meanwhile, Edmund Jones out front, pulling away, 8/10 of a second. Jeff Oakes currently in second. Ryan Warp still holding on to third. And looks like Dantuma's looking for the move. Remember, if Dantuma takes third, he would win the championship. A little bobble looked like out of Dantuma, but he didn't lift. And yeah, he is going to clear and take third. Vic is going to try and go through the open door as we get 3 to go. Richie back into 6th place. The battle for the championship is between 2nd and 3rd place, Ryan Warp and Mark Dantuma. While Edmund Jones continues to lead the race, Dantuma is closing in on Jeff. 2 laps to go. So, hold your breath, folks. Edmund Jones has a 1-second lead. It looks like he'll pull it off. And here we go, out of turn 4. Here they come, the white flag flies. One more time around, Edmund Jones has the lead. Mark Dantuma's going for second. They're 3 wide into 1. They're 3 wide out of 2. Jeff Oakes, Dantuma, both of them battling for this championship. Richie's now up into 5th right behind them. And out of turn 4, Edmund Jones gets his first ever home motorsports win. And
I'm not sure who won. I don't know.
Hang on.
Richie had the extra bonus point for being on the pole. Mark was 1 point behind him. Yeah, that's oh wow.
I do believe Mark Dantuma just took the championship. We're gonna try and we're gonna try and talk to our top 3 while I do some math. Gerald, I'm gonna throw you back up there. If you find out who has the championship from Kevin, put it in the comments for me.
10-4, man.
All right, that was a wow, what a race. All right. All right, let's see if we can get to any of our top 3. Well, we don't have Jeff Oakes available at the moment, but we do have second place Vic Brown. Vic, I honestly think if you don't get loose coming into the turn, you would have pulled off the win tonight.
I was dang sure trying. And, I had dialed up my brake bias a little more forward to try to avoid that, and it did not help one bit. I was just too worried about Eddie, and rightfully so. He ran a good race.
He definitely did, but you still came home with the podium, and man, that was a lot of great racing up there at the front. How did you like the new pavement, and how was the tire wear?
This was the best I've ever run at this place, so I like it. Tire wear was pretty good because you could just kind of ease on the brake and it just start turning itself if you had enough brake bias dialed back. So it was fun. This is the most fun I've had at Iowa for sure.
Oh man, a great job and a great finish, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug.
And Kevin Bruner joining us. So Kevin, I was trying to do the math on the fly. Do we have a new champion, and who is it?
Yeah, it would be number 57, Mark Dantuma, finishes 1 point ahead of Richie and Jeff Oakes, who are tied for second.
I knew that was going to be close. Man, what a finish. And it is, as we talked about before the race, man, it is a testament to how good these guys are. Another great season, man.
Yeah, I'd have to go back, and I don't know what Richie got the black flag for or why he got put to the end of the line. I have no idea, but that's just how close it is.
I believe it was the lucky dog, therefore he had to go to the tail end of the longest line. That's what Tim St. Jean and I figured out, so I think that's what cost him, and yeah.
Yeah, it's that was a little interesting, that caution there, and then I had to extend the caution 1 lap because we were all over the track and there was no way everybody was going to catch up, and I wanted it to be fair.
Well, it was definitely the right call, but a great job, Kevin, and a great season, man. Congratulations. Make sure you tell Mark I'll talk to him here in a minute.
Sounds good. You drag him over and have a talk with him.
All right, let's talk with our race winner, Edmund Jones, and then we'll talk to our new champ. Edmund, I can't go anywhere without you, and to make it worse, you had to get a win in your first home motorsports race.
Doug, I did it all for you, buddy. I mean, I got to talk to you. You know it's on the car.
I know. I just refuse to look at the back end of it.
Well, maybe you should look a little bit more. Everybody else was looking at it, looking at your gorgeous face on the back of this race car, and I want to thank these guys for letting me come out. It's been kind of my mission to get to know some of the guys that are coming for the How to Suck at iRacing All-Star race, because honestly, every community that is built around your broadcasting, these guys are great, and have fun with every last one of them. It's one of those, I may not be able to make it out here much, but when I can, I know these guys are fast. They got Richie Joplin in the field, and seeing the 30 car Jeffrey Oakes and then Mark Dantuma is starting second and fourth, and I'm like, oh, those guys are top 3 in points. I better run. So we're in qualifying laps the last 10 laps and just hope that they didn't catch me.
Well, you managed to hold them off, man. A great job and a great end of the season. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, Doug, and congrats, Mark. Awesome champion. Raced with the guy a couple different leagues. Can't have a better champion than Mark, and just congrats to him. Can't wait to compete against him next season.
Great job, buddy. And finally, we'll talk to our new champ, Mark. Another championship trophy goes on the mantle. You didn't get the nickname the Man for nothing.
No, and I was able to do it in a Ford, which makes it that much sweeter.
Oh, I was hoping you weren't going to say that. I feel a little
That
nauseous now.
that was an awesome battle, though. And at part of the season, I did it in a Chevy, so I can't give it all to the Ford.
Well, no, you definitely can't. But that was an awesome battle late in the race. Did you know how close it was between you and Jeff in the points as you started making the move on him and went 3 wide through 1 and 2?
I honestly thought that when I was not able to pull that off, that Jeff had won the championship. But the way the drops work, it just managed to eke it out in my favor.
Well, I do have to tell you, it's the closest championship in home motorsports history, and for the top 3 to be within 1 point of each other after the season's over, man, what a season and what a night.
Yeah, it was a great season. Lots of great drivers here, clean racing and really competitive. Really just thankful I was able to beat Richie at something.
Well, somebody's got to do it from time to time to keep him humble.
Yeah, either that or we're going to have to get him bigger hats.
That's true, too. Man, Mark, not your first championship, but, man, definitely your closest. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug.
Mark the Man Dantuma. Folks, thank you guys so much for being here. No convoy tonight. We apologize, the Unicorn not feeling well. We will be back with something tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope you all had as much fun as I did. Mark Dantuma, the new champ. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great night, everybody.